beauty is beautiful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Creative Arts Therapies activity with me, Theresa White. I am a registered drama therapist, and each day we have come to share a Creative Arts Therapies technique in celebration of Creative Arts Therapies Week. And so Monday, if you were not here, you definitely can go back and look at all of our videos on the platforms that we have went live on. We did mask work Monday. As I showed you a way that I use mask work in my sessions using drama therapy. On Tuesday, we did trace art activity called Trace It Tuesday. Yesterday, we did music activity called Work It Wednesday. So today, we are going to do a Talk It Out, Speak It Thursday. So I know yesterday I think we switched the day and stated that we were going to do a dance movement activity today, but actually Thursday is the Talk It Out. Tomorrow it will be the dance and movement activity to close out our week for our activity of Creative Arts Therapies Week. So I want to just share something really simple with regards to spoken word or poetry, since we're doing spoken word and poetry today. I want to share the definition, first of all. I know we've probably talked about it briefly. We're talking about creative arts therapies, but with regards to what actually is a poem, what is spoken word, right? We hear that a lot and we're trying to, like, what makes it a poem? Or, yeah, what makes it a poem, or what makes it poetry? What makes it a spoken, or what we classify as spoken word? So it is, of course, it has to be spoken. That's what, when we think about poetry, that's what it is, right? It's something spoken, or it doesn't have to be spoken necessarily. It can be written. So we have something that can be written or spoken. And with that, I want to give the Webster definition of it and tell you how I use it in sessions. So it's a piece of writing that partakes of the nature of both speech and song that is nearly always rhythmical, tongue twister a little bit there, and usually metaphorical. It can sometimes exhibit like formal elements, like rhyme or stanza structure, etc. And so there's different types of poem, like a stanza poem, one line stanzas, two line stanzas, three lines, etc. So I use poetry in a fun way. It's just a way to be able to get some information out. So the same way that we started off every other one of our activities, I do a check-in. So if I'm going to do poetry work, all of my check-ins, excuse me, if I'm going to do poetry or whatever activity I'm going to do in a session, all of my check-ins match that actual activity. So the same way that on Monday and Tuesday I did, if your mood was a color, what mood would you be? Or what color would you be and why? Today's would be if your mood was a word or phrase, if you can sum it up. So please, in our comments, if you're watching this live, I would love to hear your response, or you are definitely welcome to do so even if you're not watching it live. I would love to hear what your check-in mood is. If you sit there and kind of take a physical or mental scan of your emotions, your mood, your thoughts right now, if you can sum it all up in a word or phrase, what would that word or phrase be? And mine would be epiphany and enlightenment. Epiphany and enlightenment. And I will share this a little bit why. I got some great information with talking with a colleague today, and I got a great enlightenment when studying the Word of God today. Or actually just with sharing a little bit about what he received or what I received with eating a piece of fruit. So that's why that would be my check-in. With that, I could take somebody's words, whatever they may say. So they say, like, it's been a crazy day. Okay, we can take that. And a poetry activity that I can do is we're going to make your title, your mood, your stanza, whatever statement that you've made, we're going to make it a poem. And say we're going to be like, I don't write poetry. again, in drama therapy or any creative arts therapy, it's never about trying to be spectacular or be the best. It's about being authentic and releasing whatever's going on and seeing, just exploring and having some fun. So, as I say, enlightenment and epiphany, I can, give a 2 or 3 line stanza with that particular mood check in. And so, say, someone says it's been a crazy day. Say that's their statement. It's been a crazy day. So that will be the title of their poem or spoken word. So then the next, um, so I got that one little piece was bothering me sticking out. If there is, say we do a 3 line stanza, that just means you 3 lines of a poem. And so I'll say, okay, first, it's been a crazy day. I don't know how the day got this way. It could be and it could be rhythmic, as I said before. It can be rhythmical, or it cannot be. It can be, and I'll give an example of a rhythm poem, a rhythmical poem. That's always a tongue twister for me, or just a poem that is not rhythmical, but it goes with that 3 line stanza. So the rhythmical would be, it's been a crazy day. Have no idea how it got this way. I got out the bed thinking everything was going to be okay. That's not what happened because everything went astray. That's why it's been a crazy day. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just something very simple, right? And sometimes that actually is the case. Like I can get out the bed with all hopes that it was going to be great, a great day. And that's not, that's not how it went. It went a whole different way, right? So that's rhythmical. You can use rhythm. And of course, you can put that, as we said, poems are, as we talked about with music therapy, poem has a beat, right? So we can put a beat to it, and you say it in a form of a beat. So the person who's speaking it is the one who is the controller of the beat. The same way in music, the one who's writing the song controls the beat and how it flows. And that actually is the tempo actually gives um, spirit and ambiance to what the actual poem is, or the essence of it. So if I say it really fast, it's been a crazy day. No, then you may feel like this really anxious or like, whoa. If I say it really slow, that gives or in a slow tempo, that gives a whole different experience to the words I've given. Now, a rhythmic poem or a non-rhythmic poem, so it's not rhyming, but it's just matter of fact that I'm just giving, maybe a statement. So I can still use the same title. It's been a crazy day. I woke up and my alarm didn't go off as it was supposed to. I can, get very matter of fact, and I can say it in a rhythmic way, or the stanza. I'm saying it in a flowing in a beat way. And so then my third line would be, um, when I got to work, everything was chaotic, and nothing went like it was supposed to. This is just kind of how my life has been, and it's been frustrating and I don't like it, whatever words you want to use. And I'm not doing it in a rhythmic way because I keep it now in my mind. I have this rhythm in my mind or this rhyming word. I'm trying not to rhyme. A lot of times when I do poems, I use rhyming words, but you can do it when it's not a rhyming word. So when you say it, it flows that way. And so in using it in therapy, the point of my activity or just expressing or describing my activity is when we use it in therapy, it gives voice to whatever's going on with that check-in, and it could be a celebrating that, I got engaged today. Like it can be all kind of great things, right? It can be I did not get engaged today, I'm just saying. But it can be this great wonderful expression of like today was awesome, and then you go and like the song was the Lego song, everything is awesome. So I took the beat away and just said everybody's awesome, or everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a school, right? Or kind of part of a town that everybody loves everybody, whatever the words are in the Lego movie. So you can actually take away the beat of a song. And if you was actually just to say the words, it should flow in a poem or rhythmical way for what you hear, which is why music is so powerful because we talked about yesterday, because it moves emotion and it moves thought a lot of times, right? It can shift you into thinking about whatever they're singing about. And so it can help you to do that in a way that shifts you in a sad or anxious way, or anger, or whatever the emotion is, or it can be happy and celebrating and joyous and dancing, right? Depending on what song you're listening to and what that and how it moves through you. So in poetry, we talk about giving spoken word. And so the basis of the point of me using this activity in sessions, and I can use different activities with poetry and spoken word, this is just one example, is to give voice. Because in a lot of times in our lives, there are things that that we have in our lives that has been happening the same way I just gave the example of, like, oh, it's been a crazy day, right? And we hold that in. We don't have safe spaces to be able to express, to be able to release. And so we don't give voice to what we're feeling and what we're experiencing. And to be able to do a nice activity like this is a way to be able to give voice, which is why it's called spoken. Or even if it's written word, that means it's getting out of your system some kind of way. Your hand releases it or your mouth releases it. Either way, and of course when you see it, it gives that validation, and you give someone else a chance to be able to witness it. As the clinician, and what's so great about my role in working with people, whether group or individual, I get to witness these wonderful experiences. I get to witness these authentic releases of people. And so I love that. And so that's why I enjoy creative arts therapies. And again, so many of them are so powerful, so moving. And spoken word, if you've ever been to a speakeasy or sat and listened to somebody speak, when you think about Maya Angelou's poem, I Rise, right? And then hers is rhythmical, because of course, she says thighs and rise, and my eyes, hers is rhythmical, right? So they still, but it's metaphoric and it still moves you, right? So, and you like, yes, right? And it makes you feel empowered. Like a lot of people talk about her poem, making that poem, making you feel empowered. And if you know her testimony, when she talks about her testimony, she went years not speaking. So, what greater way, especially because this is Women's History Month, I wanted to honor and celebrate her as well, as someone that's been influential when it comes to spoken word poetry, is that her testimony is after an abusive situation, her telling or speaking about the abuse, someone was murdered. And so because of that, she says she shut down, and she told herself that she would never speak again. And so after, going through the healing process and her long journey of not speaking, to hear her words in poetry is to know how powerful spoken word can be, because it gives voice to what's been locked up in your system. And in her case, she had a lot of stress and frustration and abuse and shame and all the things that can come with trauma locked up in her system. And poetry gave her voice, gave those experiences voice and expression. And that's what's so great about using the creative arts therapies. You don't have to just use one. If one is what speaks to you, then use the one that speaks to you. But you can use all of them to be able to give expression. We are created and creative beings. We are meant to be able to experience life, but also to release. And so that is a great way that I love being able to use the expressive arts, the creative arts. And so happy Creative Arts Therapies Week to all my art therapists, all my dance movement therapists, all my drama therapists, all my I said art therapists, my music therapist. Happy Creative Arts Therapies Week. And so I celebrate the work that you do. I enjoy the work that I do, so I can imagine that you enjoy the work that you do. You are out there changing lives and changing the world. One creative arts activity at a time. So thank you. This is Theresa White, registered drama therapist. And if I have not already said so, I am the CEO and founder of In Time Creative Counseling Services, Drama for a Change, and Healing is Possible. You can follow and subscribe to any of my platforms. The information is in the comments or in the top of this video. I would love to hear again for you to share your favorite creative arts therapy. What and not necessarily therapy, but what's your favorite creative arts? Do you like music? Are you an art person? Are you a dance movement person, or are you the poetry spoken word person? Tomorrow we're going to do our dance and movement, and we're going to get moving in nature. As you can see, it's a pretty, well, you may not be able to see, but the sun is shining really bright. It's a nice warm day out, which is why I'm outside again. So again, get out in nature, celebrate the creative being that you are. Thank you guys for watching. Again, have a blessed and beautiful day, and hopefully I will see you again, same place, same time, 4:45 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, as we get our final closure of the week of Creative Arts Therapies Week. It goes all the way till Saturday, but our activities will end with our dance movement activity tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.